Hey friends, welcome to day 59
59.
of 90. It's crazy. We did make it back from Papa and Nana's today, and then we turned around and went to Oklahoma City, where April and the girls went and made Christmas candy. It's a Christmas tradition with her family, with her mother and her sister Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
I went and worked today, so they got to have fun. I had to work, and so that's good.
It was good. It was a very itchy day, though, still. So I took a lot of allergy medicines, and so it's kind of... I used to take allergy shots to try and get over my allergies, and it was each night that I would take the allergy shots, like the entire night, like my whole body was just aggravated. That's how it's been all day today.
Yeah, so you probably should just expose yourself to latex more often.
No.
Then it would help you get over it.
No.
I think so.
I think that's not a good idea.
That's the way it works. But also, Allison's here for a day or so. She's came up with Alex and went to Thanksgiving at his family. And then she met April and the girls in Oklahoma City today. And she'll be here tomorrow and drive back to Dallas with Jaden on Sunday. So it'll be fun to have a couple of days with Allison. And so I'm excited. You guys got to hang out with her today. I didn't get to.
Yeah, she stepped up and was already making Christmas candy by the time that we got there. And whenever she finished with the fudge and had the whole crew working on the chocolate-covered pretzels, she went to lay down to take a nap. And so she missed making the divinity. But
She hasn't been awake since.
well, yes and no. It's kind of like me. Her eyes may be open, but I don't know that she's awake.
That's what I said. She hasn't been awake since. Anyway, so yeah, we got still finishing out the holiday weekend. We still have a little bit of time left before we have to get back to the normal grind. So today, it's also day 23 in the 40-day prayer challenge. And today we talk about something we haven't really talked about yet. So, we've talked about yes prayers and no prayers. Today we're talking about not now prayers. So you might be praying for something right now, and it feels like God is saying no, but it's not really no. It might just be a not now.
Yeah. And it's hard to discern whether it's a no or not now. I think that it's good that Mark put in there that whenever they put in an offer on a house, they said, this is what we desire, and it was a no. And then a year later, they put in the same offer whenever they were able to actually get their house. And it was, as they drove by, they got a prompting of, that's the house that got away, and the next day there was a sign.
Well, and I think it was important to note that whenever they went into the process in the beginning, they said, this is our limit. We're not going over it.
Yeah.
And he even mentions that there was a time that when that first offer was rejected, they thought, maybe we should offer more. But then they stopped and they remembered about what they had prayed about, what their budget was, and they stuck with it and they moved on.
Mm-hmm.
And when they went back, that was the one offer that they gave, was their budget number. And so that takes discipline.
Mm-hmm.
It takes having the ability to just get up and walk away whenever something that you've prayed about doesn't happen in the way that you have envisioned it. Because ultimately, that if it's meant to be and if it's from God, then God's going to bring it back around one way or another.
Yeah.
So, but today he did talk about his house experience. Today's verse is, wait for the gift my Father promised, from Acts chapter 1, verse 4. Now, the idea here is not just to say, hey, pray for something, and if you don't get it, we'll just wait. It's coming around later. It's not quite the same. One of the things that he talks about is when Jesus left, when he ascended into heaven after his resurrection, He told the disciples to wait until the Helper arrived before they went out and followed the commands that Jesus had given them. So, So before they went out into the world to make fishers of men and to baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they had to wait. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to wait. I don't think anybody really, I don't know that somebody just comes in and goes, you know what I love to do? I love to wait.
I would think that there are some people that don't mind waiting. I just don't know them.
Well, you're right. There may be somebody somewhere, but that's highly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Because our nature is we want it, and we want it now. And in our society, especially in America today, that's how we live. We want what we want, when we want it, and we certainly don't want to have to wait on it. If the drive-through takes more than 3 minutes, we're throwing a fit. If we can't get a response via text message from somebody in 15 seconds, then it's taken too long. If, any number of things happens, we throw a fit.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to wait.
Well, and so in here he talks about the Sabbath too, and how we need to treat the Sabbath like a commandment, because that's what we're told to rest. And if you practice not resting, then you get busy. You're a busybody. And if you're able to practice the commandment of resting, then it slows you to where you're not so anxious about, we've got to do this, we've got to get here, we've got to do that. And that's hard in our society, because if you sit down for a day and you just rest, then you feel like you're lazy, or you think about all the things you could have gotten done
Mm-hmm.
while you were resting.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a double-edged sword, but it's not, according to what Mark has put in today's reading. He says, let me come right out and say it. We're busy. We're way too busy. In the words of the Apostle Paul, we're busybodies. We're constantly trying to do more and more in less and less time. The net result is we don't have any margins in our lives, and that's when prayer gets marginalized. We think we have too much to do to pray, but the exact opposite is true. We have too much to do not to pray. So let me encourage you. Slow down. Pray about your situation and come up with some parameters that will help you determine whether it is you're moving outside of what God has placed within you. And then if your situation doesn't meet up, then walk away. Mm-hmm. And let God sort it out. And if it's His will, if it's what He wants for you, He will bring it around. Just like that house that Mark wrote about in today's devotion as well. So, sometimes, or the thought for the day was, sometimes God's no simply means not yet.
Yep.
So.
Well, and you have experienced this personally, because whenever you bought this house in 2005, you had come in the year before and offered on it.
Yeah.
And it was a no. And then a year went by, and you were able to offer on it again, and you actually offered less, didn't you?
No, it was the same.
It was the same?
Mm-hmm.
And they took it. Yeah.
It's very similar to what Mark Batterson wrote about, with the exception that they called me. So
yeah.
They had called and said, hey, still interested? So, anyway, yeah. So, tomorrow, it's find your voice. So tomorrow we're going to find our voice.
And tonight we're going to find some sleep.
That's true. But not until we do our thankfulness.
That's true. I'm thankful for the Christmas candy tradition. I'm thankful that we are able to get together, and that it was tonight there was much more involvement with the kids' generation. So that was fun to see.
Yeah. Speaking of involvement from the kids' generation, remember we told all the kids that they had to start doing the holiday dinners like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so we'll see if that happens at Christmas, if they do some of the turkey and stuffing and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that I get to go and do things like work at the Thunder. It's freelance gigs, and it's fun to do something that's outside of my norm. It keeps me sharp. It helps me to stay on sort of the edge of what's being done, and it keeps my brain thinking in relevant terms. And so I'm really thankful that I get to do it. It's a real joy for me. So I'm thankful for those.
Awesome.
All right. Tomorrow
will be day 60.
Day 60.
2/3 of the way done.
2/3. I remember when we were no thirds of the way done.
And you were like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do this for 5 days.
It's like, this is a long deal. And it is. It gets tough. But, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. We'll see you guys tomorrow, day 60. Have a good one.